We're back on the Indiana Football Signing Day special. Here for this segment, we're going to be talking the linemen in the upcoming class, both defensive and offensive linemen. We're joined by defensive line coach Larry McDaniel and offensive line coach Greg Frey. Guys, thanks for coming on the show. Coach McDaniel, we'll start with you in defense. From a general perspective, we'll talk 3 defensive linemen with you, but generally, how do you see these guys fitting into what Indiana's goal is to do defensively?
I think one of the big things that we wanted to do, especially up front, is we wanted to get quicker. We've got some big guys that do a great job of holding the line initially. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to get some guys that we thought maybe a little more mobile, some guys that we could put in different places, not slating guys into certain spots, but really guys that we could say, okay, with this body type, we feel like you can play either a 4 technique, possibly our nose, or 3 technique, or 5 technique, but just giving us the versatility to put those guys in those spots.
To jump into it individually, 2 of the 3 guys we'll talk about from the Indianapolis area, starting with Joe Belden. He's listed at 6'2", 250 out of Avon High School, one of the top 20 ranked prospects in the state of Indiana.
Well, we were fortunate. We had Joe come down for our camp. We can't speak enough about what camp evaluation does for young men, especially guys that are tweener guys. I mean, Joe's not the biggest guy, but what we saw in camp is that he played with an extremely high motor. He's a guy that never took a play off. He's a guy that was the first guy in line who always jumped up front. He played with a great player that I guess is now starting at Auburn. He patterned his game after him. So, he was a kid that was on our radar early, and he just validated what we saw at camp.
Another guy that when he played on Fridays was in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference from Westfield, Indiana. It's Jacob Robinson, a little bit bigger at 6'4", listed at 235 pounds. What can we expect from Jacob Robinson?
Well, same way. Versatile player, a guy that can play our 4, could possibly play our 5, maybe big enough to play our 3. But once again, another hard-nosed football player from in-state, coached by a great coach, and Jake up there at Jake Gilbert at Westfield. A team that a bunch of overachievers, guys that are going to give you everything they have. And he's one of those kind of guys, a blue-collar kid who works hard. I've had a chance to watch him in the weight room a couple of times, watch him on the field. He's the kind of player that you want to build your defense around.
And finally, the third and final member of a defensive line from the signing class, Brandon Wilson. He's from Winter Garden, Florida, listed at 6'3", 240.
Yes, what Brandon gives us is that pass rush. He's a guy that, once again, he's athletic enough. He plays basketball. He's from the state of Florida where they play football year-round. So he's one of those guys that when you watch him on tape, he's long, he's lean, he bends well, all those things that you look for when you're looking for a defensive lineman. So once again, we feel like we can slot him in at the 4 or play a little 5 for us as well.
Coach Frey now moving to the offensive side of the ball. We talked in the last segment about Tevin Coleman, the rushing success that certainly can't happen with not only strong, big offensive linemen, but also multiple offensive linemen that can add some depth to this roster, and this class certainly looks like it can do that successfully.
Yeah, overall, it's I think we did a good job. A lot of the guys committed early, so we were sort of just coming on in and helping us recruit and doing some things as that you would expect an O-lineman to do. But yeah, the good class. I think we got what we need at the tackle position. Definitely 2 inside, 2 outside guys. So we'll see how they develop.
To go down the line alphabetically, Brandon Knight's first, another guy from the Indianapolis area and from Noblesville High School, 6'5", 265, 2-time All-State here in the home state of Indiana.
Oh yeah, we're a special kid and a special family. Great, mom and dad and support cast, and Coach Scheib up there did a nice job in bringing those guys, and so certainly very appreciative of him. But Brandon's a very, to me, an undervalued recruit. I mean, he's a pretty good offensive tackle, and we were excited when we got him. We're excited that we were able to continue to build our relationship with him, and we're excited that he helped us develop a great recruiting class. Really excited about him.
Looking down the line to Hunter Littlejohn, 6'3", 285 pounds. He's an Ohio kid, again from the Midwest, continuing to build the majority of this class from one of the 3 states, I guess, near the area with Indianapolis, Ohio, and then a couple from Illinois as well. What can we expect from Hunter?
Yeah, with Hunter, we're getting an athletic kid, a guy who grew up, probably more of a baseball player, growing up. Developed into an offensive lineman. Moves his feet well, bends very well. Going to project at that guard and center position. coming in there. So, very, physically, I think he's a 365 bencher right now coming out of high school. So, he's a kid that fits well inside what we're trying to do.
Heading a little bit out further west to St. Louis, Missouri, for the tallest member of this incoming class in Devon Dre Love, 6'7", 290, coming out of high school from Afton High School. Played both sides of the ball, but this is a big kid at 6'7".
Yeah, Devon Dre was a guy during the season we watched develop, and he played inside. You'll see his highlight film. He's playing guard in there as a puller, and some of the the option schemes they put their guys there. But he's going to project a tackle for us. He moves pretty well. He's a kid that has a good development. He's got a good work ethic, getting around him, being around him, great smile, good person. So we're real excited about him.
Coach Frey, last on the list and certainly not least, is a 6'4", 285-pound offensive lineman, Simon Stempniak. He's from Hamilton, Ohio, and Ross High School, one of the top prospects from out there in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, and I think he was ranked the #1 O lineman in Division III or something like that 2 years in a row, which is a great recruiting battle, great get. We love Simon's coming along. Coach Butts down there did a great job with him. Reminds me a lot of Dan Feeney. Who's on our current roster. Same style of player, same build, same temperament, and looking for good things out of him.
Hey, Coach, when you're recruiting offensive linemen, what are some of the bigger things maybe initially when you go out to scout a guy or when you're watching film on a guy? What are some of the bigger things that you look for and looked for specifically with this class in finding these guys?
Well, you think, I use the standard R kind of guy. The ratings, the 5 stars, all that doesn't matter. It's, hey, who's going to click with me? Who am I going to click with? Who share the same mentality? Who can get to the blocks that we need him to get to? And when he gets there, what does he do? And I think when you watch a guy like Brandon Knight, Devon Dre, Simon, Hunter, those guys can get to the blocks we need them to get to. And when they get there, they're trying to finish, they're trying to get after you in a good way. And so, that's sort of what we look for and what we want. And then, of course, as you get off the field, the academics and character and those type of things are just as important. But on the football field, that's what we're looking for. Hey, man, can he get there? When he does, what's he going to do?
Well, Coach, it seems like a great group of guys, 22 in the total incoming class, 2 added, so make it 24 total with the 2 UAB transfers. Congratulations, guys, in helping out with everything that you do, and we'll see you in the spring.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, that will do it for our show. It's another great signing class coming to Hoosier Nation. The spring game will come up before we know it here in just a few months, and then on September 5th, the 2015 season will kick off here at Memorial Stadium behind us as the Hoosiers will take on Southern Illinois. We thank all of our coaches for joining me on the Indiana Football Signing Day Special.